nothing. Sorry, but I gotta go. You got nothing to prove it. There's nothing we lose then. You got nothing to lose then. Sorry, but I gotta go.
Welcome to Wildin Out, your THL Wild Show. My name is ItsMeMikeV. I'm joined tonight by NHL NBA Fan 1 and our guest for this evening, Diamond Club's own Volkai. How you guys doing tonight?
Doing pretty good. How about you guys?
Good. As you can see, we are missing Memnarch. He is having some issues due to a power outage out in California. He just cannot catch a break. It's going rough for him, but that's living in California, I guess. All right, so what have we all been playing? Marty?
I've been very boring. This meta feels like nothing works except for Reno Priest. But when I feel like memeing, there is a new Mill Druid out, and that Mill Druid is really fun.
Okay.
If you want, just look
That's
at
awesome.
Peugeot's Mill Druid and uses the brand new card. Highly recommend.
I have been playing Battlegrounds. I am captaining a Battlegrounds team for THL, and I am trying to relearn the meta since it's been a long time since I've been playing Battlegrounds. So, and apparently there's all kinds of new classes or whatever you want to call it, and it's going to take me a bit to catch up. But Volkai, what have you been playing?
Well, I've been tinkering around with our deck of the week that we'll be getting to later, as well as Battlecry Cthulhu Quest Shaman.
Okay.
Highlander, at that.
In Highlander, Jesus. That sounds complex.
It's
But,
very fun.
yeah, it sounds fun. I like meme decks, so, and it's a good time of the season for meme decks. So that's awesome. All right. Before we get to the meta analysis, I just wanted to cover right now with the announcement of the new expansion. The projected playoff format has become a little complicated. The board is currently looking at the playoff format and its scheduling. The top four would be played during the expansion release week, and the finals would be played the week after. So more info is going to come. Nothing's official yet, but just keep that in mind. Who knows what's going to happen? Would we have to play multiple matches in a week? What we'd have to do? Just be aware that some changes might be made. It's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen. But yeah, all right. On to meta-analysis.
All right, so this week we had 48 archetypes. Many of the new ones are just mostly for fun. Think Dinomancer Warlock. Let's see, Soul Demon Hunter, which China thinks is real, but I don't know. Odd Egg Paladin, and even Jade Shaman. So very fun there. Hunter had 5 brings, the most it's seen all season. And the thing is, a lot of these weren't meme brings. I wouldn't call Reno Hunter a meme. I wouldn't call Spiteful or Mech Hunter full memes either. Mech Hunter is still an aggro deck, so it's not something that can't win. Keep that in mind. Outside of that, Mali Druid has become the main archetype in the Druid class. Aggro Druid has the same representation as Jade Druid. Both combined are eclipsed by Malygos, really. So Druid is mostly focused on one archetype now, and that's combo. Paladin is also seeing convergence to one archetype, and that's Odd. There's some Murloc and a few other archetypes, but most people are playing Odd. Rogue is shifted from the beginning of the season. Kingsbane is now one of the least popular archetypes to bring. Odd Rogue is the most popular archetype now. So if someone's bringing rogue, it's most likely odd. There's also some mill druid or mill rogue scene. That's not necessarily for the meme. That could very well be for countering a lineup. It was actually more popular than Kingsbane this week. Down looking at Warlock, discard is no longer like up ahead. Cube Warlock is by far the most popular archetype to bring. It hasn't reached a majority, but it shares the same representation, if not a little bit more, than Reno and discard combined. There's also a bunch of other archetypes within the Warlock class. Dark Glaire's in there, some Mechathune, a few memes like Dark Sour and Dinomancer, and then someone bringing Treachery Warlock. I don't know if I'd call that a meme. Treachery has some... There is some merit to bringing it at times, so it's tough to say. Outside of that, we go down to Warrior, and Warrior is in a unique position. There's a lot of different archetypes being brought, but it's all like one or two players bringing them, except for Odd Warrior. Odd Warrior is the one bring in the Warrior class that a lot of people seem to like, and it seems like something that would be used to counter a lot of different lineups. Specific lineups. It's especially strange because, Dead Man's Hand and Bomb were much more popular at the start of the season, but now they're barely registering. So.
Yeah, I find the drop in Warrior interesting, especially with the increased popularity of Paladin and Odd Paladin. Odd Warrior is still sticking around, but it's fascinating to see how much Warrior has fallen off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It could also be that Odd Warrior got some support this week with the new card, Silas Darkmoon. There's an OTK using Ash Tongue Slayer. The 1/4 that deals damage to your hero whenever it takes damage.
Yeah.
You can play that, use Silas Darkmoon to send it to the opponent's board, and then Shield Slam it for 30 damage. So.
Oh, okay.
That could be a reason why it was so popular.
So
Anyways.
how many games do you think that Shield Slam will end this week?
Tough to say. I tried it a bit, and I experimented a lot with it. And from what I saw, it's not really all that reliable. It's cool in theory, but Warrior either doesn't have the draw or the ability to gain that much armor and combo off sufficiently more often than not. So you can't rely on it as it might seem.
Yeah. Makes sense.
And that's pretty much the meta-analysis. So.
Yeah. All right. Let's move on to the interview. Are you ready, Volkai?
Oh, I don't believe in ready.
Yeah. Well, it's coming at you either way. So.
Exactly.
So, how do you feel about captaining? What do you think being a captain entails, and how do you try to achieve that?
Well, I love captaining because it's putting people together and then helping them succeed as a group. As far as what it entails and how I've tried to do it, I think the main thing it entails is making sure that everyone is on the same page about what's going on so that people know, especially when it's the second time around against the same team, you know what to expect. You've talked to your teammate who's played against that person if you're not going into a direct rematch, and so you'll have an idea of what their playstyle is. And then as captain, this isn't something I've been able to do this season with the Diamond Club, but back when I was captain of the Faithless Lumi with Hero, I helped people predict what decks their opponents would bring and what to ban and how to counter what they players had been bringing previously. It's a little harder to do here, not because it's wild instead of standard, but because with Conquest, you have to win with all of your decks. You can't just have a perfect counter.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not as easy with it's in Hero where you just win with one deck. I agree with you on your captain philosophy on bringing everyone together and making sure we're all on the same page. Yeah, I've been a captain before, and I'm going to be a captain on this upcoming season. And it's it's a good feeling to unite people, and when it succeeds and everyone's together and working together as one, one smooth machine. It's a good feeling. So yeah. Do you remember your first round match from last season? Do you have any comments or insights on it?
Oh man, I wish I could honestly say that I do, but that would be a lie.
Oh
Yeah.
no, that was from Reverb. Reverb's gonna be sad.
Uh,
Well,
that's I wonder what
I do
happened.
remember, if I recall correctly, I do remember being beaten quite soundly, and that's
Okay.
about all I remember about it.
All I
Apparently
can
it was
say
on
is
stream. Go
yeah.
ahead.
All I can remember was turn one drawing patches, according to Reverb.
Oof.
Oh,
Yeah, that's
oh,
why.
oh yes. Oh man. Yeah, that's never a good feeling.
So
Yeah, it's a
yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. So next question: what's your favorite card in Hearthstone?
Oh, my favorite card in Hearthstone. Mm, I think it would probably have to be Ultimate Infestation.
Interesting.
Any
That's
reason?
A couple of reasons. One is I feel like Ultimate Infestation personifies what Druid does more than any other single card, in that everyone respects the power of Ultimate Infestation, but there's no one thing it does that's overpowered. Yeah, it draws 5 cards, but it's only drawing 5 cards. That's not an insane number of cards. It's not like it's filling your hand like Evocation is. It only does 5 damage. 10 mana for 5 damage is half a Pyroblast. That's not anything impressive by itself. A 10 mana 5/5, not it's not bad, but it's nothing impressive. And 5 armor is, you get that from literally any hero card. So no one element of what it does is too strong, but it does more different things than just about any other card in the game.
gotcha. All right, that's good. That's good reasoning. Um, favorite and least favorite deck.
Ooh. Least favorite deck would probably be, uh, to play against, at least, would be Freeze Mage, because it's not playing the game. And I don't know about you, but when I play Hearthstone, I do it to play the game, not to
Yeah,
just sit there and do nothing while my opponent makes sure we're both doing nothing.
I'm sure you love Turtle Mage.
Yeah, that was a good nerf.
Yeah,
As far as favorite deck, I'd probably have to go with not Jade Shaman, Jade Druid, because that is what I got back into Hearthstone with.
okay.
Which version? There's like four of them.
Early Frozen Throne.
Oh, the tier S bonkers broken one.
Okay, not quite that early, but still fairly early Frozen Throne.
So was this pre or
After the
post?
first round of nerfs.
Okay, after spreading plagues nerf.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I was fine with that nerf.
Yeah, the card is still kind of busted.
It's a pretty solid card.
Yeah, they even
Uh, the really nice thing with that, though, for me, is that I was able to build the deck without any of the legendaries, other than I think I had Fandral from the 2-3 months I played during Old Gods. And aside from that, I was basically starting from a free to play account, and was able to do pretty well with it.
nice.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So, moving on to the next thing. If you had the choice, putting Goblin Sapper or Spider Tank in your deck, which one do you pick?
Goblin Sapper or Spider Tank? Well, I'm gonna have to remind myself about what Goblin Sapper is. I don't even remember what that is.
Oh no, how could you not remember? I think that answers the question.
Well, probably because my smartphone is about half of my brain, and I can reference it right quick. There we go. Oh, well, I think I'd go for Spider Tank because Goblin Sapper is only good about half the time.
For anyone
Yeah.
who didn't know, Goblin Sapper is a 3-mana 2/4 minion, which has +4 attack, while your opponent has 6 or more cards in hand. So it's a 3-mana 6/4 against slower decks that hold a lot of cards in hand. But against something like Aggro Druid, then it's just a 2/4.
Yeah, it's not
So.
the greatest.
Yeah, no, not at all. But it's an interesting arena card. Anyways, another fun question. If a tree falls in a forest and no one hears it, should patches be unnerved?
Yes, but just the audio.
So just I'm in charge now.
Absolutely.
But he doesn't have charge.
Details.
He should have charge. I personally believe patches should be unnerved, but that's just my thought.
Unnerved patches in a meta
I
where
could see
you
them giving
have
him rush.
Okay, let's think. A 5/5 rush patches on turn 1. Is that fair and balanced in Wild?
Yes.
In Wild? Probably.
Well, he's saying in a format with Embiggen, should we have an unnerved patches? And I just like cards having their true spirit, and that's just how I feel.
Well,
I like wild being wild.
I'm going to share a funny little story. The devs actually commented on Patch's design a while back. How during what was that adventure? It was the dragon adventure. Something Mountain.
The Galacron one? Or
No,
the-
something Mountain.
Black Rock.
Oh,
Mountain?
Black
Rock
Rock
Mountain.
Mountain. Yes, Black Rock Mountain. Originally, they had a 1/1 dragon that would come out of your deck when you played a dragon, and it also had charge. And they found it to be too powerful, so they scrapped the idea. And that was with dragons. Okay, they went on to print this in the form of Patches the Pirate, but Patches was probably the single best legendary in its entire time until it was nerfed.
Yeah.
And it would probably be a top 3 legendary today if it wasn't nerfed either.
Yep.
I agree with Cherub also. He said he'd be fine with it if Aggro Druid didn't exist with Embiggen. And yeah, I
But it
think
does.
Aggro Druid probably ruins it.
So
But I do like cards having their true essence. Unnerfing Raza, I think, was a huge improvement. I know a lot of people hate on Raza Priest now. But
yeah, I disagree. I play the deck a lot, and I disagree. Like that can go back to 1 mana, and it'll still be competitive. Or Spawn
It'll
of
be
Shadows.
competitive, but-
Spawn of Shadows can be nerfed, and the deck would still be fine. Okay, Zeroshio, how'd Patches hurt you? Did he touch you in your no-no spot? No, he did not touch my no-no square. No one touches me there. That's my no-no square. Patches didn't hurt me at all. I just feel that there needs to be some cap to the power level, and there's still problems in Wild right now, including Reno Priest. Reno Priest is the big offender right now. Quest Mage was one of them. It's still difficult to say whether it still is after the evocation nerf. There's a few other things that are holding a diverse meta back, in my opinion. And bringing back unnerfed versions of certain cards would make it even worse.
check the screen, Marty.
He touched his... Oh no, this broke.
Yeah.
Let me fix that. There we go.
All right. Let's go to the next question.
My mistake.
No. I think one of us got disconnected quick. That's why.
That's
Yep,
why.
someone got
Okay.
disconnected for a second.
Is the Diamond Club going to come back next season? How many sweeps are they completing?
So we are taking next season off. Partly just because people did not expect the caliber of competition that showed up in the Wild Series this season, and quite frankly, I don't think anybody really was ready for that. But also because, well, we've been having fun, and we're gonna go have fun doing other things, and we'll come back later.
Nice.
All right.
So, all right. Easy question. Do you Alt F4 or shut down the computer?
Oh, wait, hang on. I did not answer the question about sweeps.
Oh, well.
Because the question about how many sweeps the Diamond Club is completing is, we don't use brooms, we use vacuums. Sweeping is for the 20th century.
I see.
Oof.
I see. Okay, well, with that in mind, given your vacuum, do you Alt F4 or shut down your vacuum?
Yes. I Alt F4 and then shut down.
I see. Good to know. So I guess
All
that's the way to do it.
It's proper computer hygiene. Always probably shut down the computer.
All right. I think we have time for 2 more questions.
All right. What team is going to Nat 20 the finals?
Oh, Nat 20 the finals.
Yeah. Given your D&D
I
guy.
don't know. If anyone can Nat 20 the finals, it would probably be Hattleship. But no, I don't think anybody's rolling better than an 18.
That's fighting words. I don't know about that.
Yeah. All right, you get to pick the last question, Marty.
All right. So, on the topic of D&D, what's the best D&D monster?
Blink Dog.
Blink Dog?
It is not only a loyal hound, it is a loyal hound who can eat monsters for you and teleport. And pretty smart, too.
All right.
I'll take it. So with that said, I believe it's time for the conference breakdown.
Yes, it is.
Mike, you got the green conference then?
I got the green conference. I'll go first.
All right, let's do it. We have F2L Viridian versus Power Creeps first.
All right. F2L Viridian versus the Power Creeps. F2L winning 18-8. Yeah, Power Creeps having a tough season. Only Jack and Jonah Ra having positive records. Jack with a 5-2, Jonah Ra with a 4-3. Shocking, honestly, considering the hype going into the season. Marty sweeping Rami 3-0. Congratulations, Marty.
Yeah, thanks.
A 4-1 win for F2L. Only Jack beating Neji Boston. Both Ultimate and Marty having 6-1 records. I mean, you guys are having fantastic seasons. Do you have any insights into your matchup, Marty?
Yeah, so this was pretty funny because Rami actually streamed these matches during his schedule. And so he brought Cube Warlock with birds, Padlock Albatrosses to counter Priest. He had Galakron Warrior and then Odd Rogue and Odd Paladin. I had brought Quest Mage, Reno Priest, Odd Rogue, and Discard Warlock. I figured he would want to go with his best matchup first, which was Cube Warlock into Reno Priest. And I figured that was the best opportunity for Mage to go and get a win. So I got a win there. And then somehow won the Rogue Mirror and cleaned up with Priest against his Odd Paladin. What's funny is Rami's chat was like, why is he running Psychic Scream in his Reno Priest? Why not run Soul Mirror? Soul Mirror is so much better. And apparently, when I went to look back at the VOD, Rami just replied, well, it just won him the game as I played Psychic Scream.
Uh,
So, yeah, it goes to show a lot of standard players don't understand the power of Psychic Scream.
no. Yeah, that doesn't. I mean, Psychic Scream is an incredibly powerful card. I mean, I guess if people haven't been playing that long, they don't remember it, or
It's the
I can't
single.
imagine.
It's the single most powerful car, like board clear, in Priest, and it's
Yeah.
undoubtedly top 3 in the entire game, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah. I mean, just the fact that you're screwing up their draw, and they have to draw cards they don't want is incredibly powerful.
So,
Yeah. All right. And that's about it for. I mean, obviously F12 Viridian, number one team in Wild, in my opinion. Hattleship close second, but you guys, you're undefeated, and uh, it's tough to say much else. I mean, straight Warlock bans for F2L. Do you have a reasoning behind that, or
oh,
just
the
is that a
Warlock bring.
coincidence?
So
Oh no,
we
Warlock bring. I
we
said
brought
bans.
a
My
bunch of
God.
different warlocks. If anyone sees like our weeks, most of the time we bring warlock. They're always different warlocks though. You can probably figure out a little bit of insight through there and how we've been able to take advantage of different classes and archetypes if you really look into it, but it's a bit challenging. There are certain things that we've learned about warlock, and we know which warlock decks are good and which are okay with bringing. That's all I can really say about it. Also, this week we clinched, which was very nice. So,
Hey, there you go. Awesome. Congratulations.
thank you. So, on to the next one.
Yep, on the next one.
Got Wild THL Fanatics versus Diamond Club.
Everyone get ready for this one.
Oh, this is a biggie.
Diamond Club losing their title as most consistent team in the league.
Hold on,
With
hold
a
on.
win.
Hold on. I would argue they're still consistent because they would always get that one win every week, and they got that one win this season.
Okay. All right. I'll give 'em that.
Consistently inconsistent.
Yeah. You guys won 16-9. I am so impressed. Whiskey Wolf, honestly, MVP your team this season. With a 5-3 record. You won the top 3 matches, which is very impressive, against Electric Sheep City, Draco Cat, Brian O'Brien. The 3 winning lineups were for Whiskey Wolf. He brought Q Block, Even Shaman, Secret Mage, Reno Priest. Troll Dan brought Q Block, Melee Druid, Reno Priest, and Secret Mage. And Yabs brought Even Shaman, Odd Paladin, Aggro Druid, and Odd Rogue. Yeah, congratulations, guys. I'm so happy to see you guys going out on a high note, like Whiskey Wolf said. And yeah, I mean, I was worried that you guys would walk away from this with a sour note and saying this was a bad experience. But I'm happy, you guys have had fun and that you got that win. And Wild THL Fanatics have had a rough season. They had a few weeks where they were coming back, but these past couple weeks have been tough for them. Draco Cat memed a little bit. He brought Soul DH. But other than that, they brought pretty standard decks. Yeah. So 2 sweeps, Whiskey Wolf and Yavs both sweeping. And, Dr. Bombs at Unlimited Power taking the bottom 2 matches. But, yeah, other than that, pretty standard match. And congratulations to the Diamond Club.
Yeah. Congratulations. That's to you too, Volkai.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I think everyone has mostly enjoyed the experience.
That's good. It's good. It's always good to see new faces around THL. So, given that, I think it's time to move on to the Blue Conference. I'll be taking that since Memnarch isn't here, so let's get to it. First up, we have Bash Brothers versus the Grimscale Gang. This was an interesting one. A tie. This is the second tie Bash Brothers have had this season. So they went 4-2-2. Grimscale Gang tied it up at the end. It came down to the Mr. Python versus White Delight matchup. White Delight took it to Game 5 and won, but that only was enough to bring the tie. So now Bash Brothers are done with their season, and they are currently, I believe, at the top of the standings. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes, they are at the top with the Grimscale Gang and Patch's Payback a little bit further behind. Grimscale Gang are too far to catch up and get first place, but the second place is a long reach still. If they full sweep, they have a chance on passing an Oyo team, but they also need Patch's Payback to lose. If Patch's Payback gets 15 or more than 15 points, they could take first place this week. So we'll have to see. Speaking of Patch's Payback, you guys want to move on to the next one?
Yeah.
All right, we have Patch's Payback versus Nuke the Waygate. So Patch's Payback has really been on a roll, 17-7. We see Tony Montana bringing that Hunter and getting a win with it in the sweep. Well done to him. That was a Reno Hunter. So, like I said before earlier,
Okay.
Reno Hunter is not a full meme deck. There is some merit to it. He went with Aggro Druid, Reno Priest, Reno Hunter, and Reno Warlock. So we went with the triple Reno lineup and a hyper aggro deck, probably the fastest deck in the game right now, against Silver T, Fox Demon, Even Shaman, Odd Rogue, Disco Lock, and Secret Mage. It's no surprise he was able to get the sweep against something like that. Aggro Druid can just get under, and the rest are so anti-aggro that they shut down anything that Silver T, Fox Demon's decks could do on board. Outside of that, the only win for Nuke the Waygate was Black Swan, who's having an incredible 5-2 season. Good on him to beat Lefty. Lefty brought some weird decks this week. He had a full combo lineup pretty much. Milrogue, Exodia Paladin, Mechathune Lock, and Reno Priest. Black Swan was able to get the win this week with Q-Block, Big Shaman, Kingsbane, and Secret Mage. Interesting to see that he was able to get by with Q-Block since it's generally unfavored against these decks. But
yeah,
congrats to him. Well done to Patch's Payback. Getting up there in points. Really pushing for first place if they want it now. We'll see how that goes. So, something to keep an eye on next week.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, Patch's Payback has had an incredible season for someone who struggled last season. I keep saying this, but it is. I'm baffled by how much. They added a couple of good players, but I mean, I'm so impressed. I'm really happy for them. So, yeah.
All right. So that is the Blue Conference, and now Volkai, are you ready for the Brown Conference?
Ready? No, but let's do it anyways.
All right. First up, we have Anoyo Team versus the Caverns Below. This was a massive win for Anoyo Team. Care to run us through it?
5-0 sweep. Can't get much better than that when it comes to team wins.
Yeah.
Couple of the matches that stood out there is that MTG Squirrel got the win with Togwaggle Druid, which I don't think I've seen show up anywhere else on the lineup. And
there was
I don't know about
only
you guys, but I thought that
one
was a pretty fun
Togwaggle
deck.
bring. Yeah, there was only there were two Togwaggle brings. My mistake. So that is one of them.
Okay, and that was a winning one. And nice to see that Yata got the win, subbing in for Mad at Arms, who's generally a pretty formidable player.
Yeah, Yata is a well-known player in the WoW community. He's an excellent player, good teammate. I personally like him a lot as a player and as a friend, having interacted with him before. Highly recommend getting to know him. And whenever he's streaming, tune in. He's a great streamer too.
Yeah, he is. He's a fantastic player. I'm really happy to have him as a teammate right now, But
So,
I
keep
believe
going.
it.
So
And especially with this appearing to be Yata's first appearance in the series, 3-0 perfect records, nothing to sneeze at.
I don't
No.
know. So
And I will say my matchup, Cherub brought Knuckles Hunter, Jade, Battlecry Shaman, and what's that card?
Dinomancer?
Dinomancer Warlock.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cherub with the spice.
Yeah,
Your boy taking it to
spice.
5 games with some serious power. Yeah, you know it.
Well, I'm warrior just could not deal with Dinomancer or what's it called? Jade Shaman. So it was actually kind of tough with Odd Warrior, but I still got the win, so I'm happy about that.
I can imagine.
That Sharp made you earn it, but you earned it.
Yep, exactly.
Okay, but can you admit Dinomancer versus Odd Warrior was a funny matchup?
Yeah, it was. It was very funny. It lasted so long. I was just clearing the board, clearing the board, clearing. I at some point I should have just conceded because I knew I lost. Like, but I don't know. I'm just not the kind of player to like. I'm always like hoping something will happen. So I just like I'll just wait till the next turn and see like if the opponent screws up somehow or like eventually I just gave up. I was just like this is a loss.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Obviously, Cherub played awesome. It was really fun. You know, I thought his decks were actually with the Knuckles Hunter. He almost won. I had 30 health and like almost 40 armor, and he brought me down to like 18 or 15 with Knuckles Hunter in one turn. Good thing I armored up so much because
Yeah.
that was pretty close.
Yeah, I should mention, for anyone that doesn't know, Dinomancer Warlock, the idea is you run a way to discard Dinomancer. It's the most expensive card in your deck, so you run either the 5/5 Rush or an Expired Merchant. You discard Dinomancer, and then on turn 10, you play Dinomancer with Spirit Singer Umbra to fill your board with a bunch of Dinomancers, and then they just don't die. Because the Death Rattle is summon a minion you discarded this game, and you've only discarded Dinomancer, so it just resummons itself over and over.
Yeah,
So.
and I burned his Umbra, so he only had the 2 Dinomancers, but
It's
he just had I couldn't do anything about it. Like he had more than 2. He copied someone with Merchant. He had like 3 Dinomancers, I think. And but they were just stuck on the board, and I had nothing to do against him with Odd Warrior, so he just kept just pinging me, and I'm just like, he's gonna take this. Like, there's nothing I can do.
Yeah. As for Knuckles Hunter, the idea there is you have Knuckles, your only beast, and you just want to buff it a ton. You buff Knuckles up with like hand buffs and board buffs, and finally you give it charge somehow, usually with something like Tundra Rhino. And it goes through taunts because Knuckles' effect is it deals damage to the opponent equal to the amount of damage it inflicts on a minion. So you end up doing, like 20 damage in one hit, and oftentimes this is enough to just kill your opponent.
You play the what is it? The Beast Within, which makes it attack a minion, or like you play a couple copies of that, and it'll attack a minion, but it also attacks your hero. It attacks another minion, also attacks your hero. So, it gets in like 4 or 5 hits for like 10, 15 each. Yeah, it's a pretty cool deck. I don't have Knuckles, but I wish I did.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So
all right.
That covers this. And now we finally have Battleship 2 BBC versus Board Space Invaders.
And that was a little bit more contentious of a match, going 3-2, with only 3 points separating both teams, which, if I recall, the team win points on that is really, really like 1 game off from a tie.
Yeah.
One of the things I found interesting about the lineup on this is between both teams, there is only 1 uniform class. Everyone on Battleship 2 brought Mage. There's no other class that everyone on Battleship brought, and everyone on board Space Invaders had a variety of lineups. Although 4 of them brought Priest. Oh, no, sorry, I lied. Everyone brought Warlock on board Space Invaders. So you could look at it as the Mage versus Warlock matchup.
Absolutely, and it looks like Battleship just came on top, 14-11. Very close.
Yeah.
2 sweeps,
Just a little
too.
bit, yep.
This could have gone either way. So it came down to one matchup. Very fun to watch. So, and that's last week's
2
matches.
3-0s, 2 2-3s, and then single 3-1 Battleship versus Hockey Boys was the decider.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, I think that covers it for all the matchups last week. We should move on to power rankings.
It sounds good to me.
All right, let's do it. So, quick look at the power rankings. We are again pretty set on a lot of these. F12 Viridian, Battleship 2, and then are the top two. After that, it's a bit of more of a mix-up. We seem to have another team somewhere in there. Could be a bit higher, could be a bit lower. Patches Payback and Bash Brothers, they're both between 3 and 5, or between 3 and 6, I should say. It's very close. Some of us have Patches Payback above Bash Brothers. Others have Bash Brothers above Patches Payback. They're both very close in terms of strength. Reverb, don't hate me. Don't hate me. Not today, please. Bash number 3, please. We'll see about that. Grimscale Gang seems to have gone up for most of us. I have them at 6. Everyone else has them at 8. Seas of Cheese sitting around the 7-8 spot. Very solid. Willing team. You have Power Creeps a little bit lower, followed by Board Space Invaders, all at 10. Nuke the Waygate, mostly an 11. Volkai has them at 12. And then at the bottom, we have Cabins Below, the Cult Wild, Diamond Club, and Wild THL Fanatics. I feel like I said Wild THL Fanatics twice, but it's okay. You guys have any comments?
Yeah. Obviously, Memnarch has the most correct power rankings. I had to say that just for him, because he would have said it if he was here. I will say that I do believe Bash Brothers, above Patches Payback makes the most sense. I think Patches Payback's having a great season, but for now, Bash Brothers is the number one team, although they do have a bye week. For now, another team. I know what you're gonna say. I know we have a bye week next week. We played a team that was memeing, so yeah, we got 20 points, but they were playing memes, so yeah, like the points are contentious. But right now, I mean, we didn't get the rest of our points from memes, so I think we're gonna make the playoffs. It's gonna be an interesting result. I think right now we're in a good spot. Caesar Cheese, number 2 and Green, doing a great job. Grimscale tied with Patches Payback. I think that's a good reason for them to race for all of us. Diamond Club off the bottom for the first time. Or actually, no, Caverns Below was in the last place last time. And White Delight is right. Blue is the hardest conference because they don't have a team donating meme points, and it's just so close. Like, it's like there's no like top team that's. I mean, Bash Brothers has been at the top the entire time, but it's been so contentious. I'm impressed by the competition in Blue. I think we all said at the beginning of the season that Blue was going to be the easiest conference, and it's actually turned out to be the hardest conference. So, yeah, I think that we all are, like you said, Marty, pretty close in our rankings, and a lot closer than we were at the beginning of the season. I think at the beginning of the season, if you looked at our rankings, we were all over the place, and now things are definitely kind of formulated out. So, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like you said most of how we've been feeling about this. There's not much else to go and add to that. Really, with 1 week left, everything seems to be coming into place. And obviously there's going to be upsets during the wild card round. But right now, this is probably the best indicator of who's most likely to win the championship. So we'll have to see.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I mean, go ahead. Go ahead, Volkai.
something I think that is going to be a must-watch match this week for Blue is going to be Nuke the Waygate versus the Cult Wild, because that match is going to decide who falls out of the postseason.
Yeah,
With
that's
the
true.
other two conferences, it's pretty much set. But with Blue, that competition is very much still alive.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one to watch. I hope some of those games make it to stream.
Yeah, we'll have to see. So, um, since you've been mentioning matchups, let's move on to the predictions.
Let's do it.
All right. So, first up, we have Patch's Payback versus the Grimscale Gang. This is an important match because Patch's Payback, if they get, I think it was 15, more than 15 points, they can secure first place. So, Grimscale Gang can kind of play the upset here and force Patches to play for their playoff spot in one more week.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So, Patches Payback versus Grimscale Gang. We have in Surlos versus White Delight. We're split on this. Me and Volkai both picked Surlos. Memnarch and NHL or Marty both picking White Delight. I went with Surlos. He's 6-1. He's having a great season. Lefty versus Matty Ebbs. We have 3 for Lefty. Me, Memnarch, and Marty went Lefty, and Volkai went Matty Ebbs. Dirty Mike versus Swashbuckler. We're split on this. Me and Marty went with Dirty Mike, Memnarch, and Volkai pitching Swashbuckler. Yo Daddy versus Tony Montana. We're also split on this. Me and Marty picking Yo Daddy, and Memnarch and Volkai picking Tony Montana. And Brushy Tuna versus Risa. Everyone picked Brushy Tuna except for me. I went with Risa. Yeah, that's it for that matchup. So, I'll just go through it. I picked a 3-2 win for Patches. Memnarch picked a 4-1 win for Patches. Marty picked a 3-2 win for Patches, and Volkai picked a 3-2 win for Patches. So we all have Patches winning, but by different margins.
Yeah, it'll be close. So
Yeah.
that's
I
one of the
think if
matches
you
to
averages
watch.
all together, winning by 2.
I have them winning by 2. Memnarch has them winning by 4-1, and the rest of us have them winning by 2.
Memnarch has it 3-2 Patches actually.
Do it. You're right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, all 3-2. You are correct.
So moving on, we have, let's see, Nuke the Waygate versus a Cult Wild. So I'll take this one. So between Absolute and Black Swan, all but Mike V have Absolute taking this. Mike, you are standing Black Swan hard.
He was
season.
on my team last season, man. He's just my dude.
Well, second matchup between J Rose and Rice Bowl. We all have J Rose winning that. Between Catharsis and Kavera, we are split here. Memnarch and I have Kavera. Mike and Volkai have Catharsis. Between Quaz and Silver T Fox Demon, we are also split here. Memnarch and Volkai going for Quaz, but Mike and I picking Silver T Fox Demon. That could be a match to watch. We'll have to see. Finally, between Duocat and Tomato, all but Volkai went with Tomato. Volkai believes in Duocat, hoping to get one win this season. So,
The underdog.
we will see. So
Hey,
that wraps
if we
up.
can do it, so can Duocat.
And that's very true. So that wraps up this one. Next up, we have Battleship 2 BBC versus the Caverns Below. Volkai, this is all you.
All right, let's go ahead and unmute that mic. So, for Battleship versus Caverns, looking at Tuesday versus Based Inc. Everybody thinks Based Inc. is going to win. That's not even close.
Not a Not a shock.
Fair. When it comes to Nine Eyebrows versus Corbett, we are a little bit more split with mm, that's both of you actually. With both of you voting for Corbett and me and Memnarch rooting for Nine Eyebrows getting the win. Then in the middle slot we've got Sharp against Bill Snyder, and that one, as with Based, everyone is backing Bill for the win. Which, frankly, I think means that if Sharp wins, it's going to be that much more impressive. Number 3 against A2 Battleship is on similar with Nine Eyebrows and Corbett. We're split 2-2 with you two against me and Memnarch on you two rooting for Battleship. Or not rooting for, but thinking that that's who's going to win. And then we've got G-Kick versus Ridiculous Hat, and I don't think anybody's going to be surprised by the unanimous prediction that Hat's going to take home the win.
So,
Because it would be ridiculous if he didn't.
Hey.
before we move on, I want to talk about this real quick. The Caverns Below, they're going to win solely on their deck archetypes. They're going to bring the most creative decks you can imagine. They've been doing it every week, the last 2 weeks. I expect no difference this week, and it's for that reason that I gave Hattleship the full sweep.
Yeah, that's so weird. I mean, it's going to be meme decks.
Yeah, but it's fun, and sometimes they win and they get really close. So, Tara, we are rooting for you. Get those memes in. Get some wins. Best of luck. 5-2 versus 2-5. It's perfect. Perfectly balanced.
Punch the sun!
So, with that said, we have another matchup to cover. Straight Impin, Metamorphin Pimpin versus Board Space Invaders. So, Simp versus Board Space Invaders. Between Snake Fods and Blue Sombrero, all of us except Volkai have Snake Fods winning this. Volkai, you went with Blue Sombrero. Between Skittles and Adamos, we are more split. Memnarch and I agreeing again, like we have been a lot this week, picking Adamos. Mike V and Volkai picking Skittles. Between Afola and Martian Boo, all of us went with Martian. We did the same with Succulent versus FBM2, Reggie. All of us went with Succulent here. And then finally, between Zancat and Hockey Boys, we are split. Mike and I went with Zancat, and Memnarch and Volkai went with Hockey Boys. So it seems we are very split on this match. This is probably the closest prediction that we have, or the closest match in terms of predictions that we have, with Mike and is Mike and I picking Sim to take it, but Memnarch and Volkai having Board Space to take it. So I don't think this has too much of an impact in terms of where people end up. Simp is trying to get the 4th spot, but both are pretty safe because they're in the Brown Conference. So this match might decide who gets that 4th bye. Now, and I think
I said all right.
All right. Yeah, you just cut a little bit, so we're all good, though. And finally, we have F12 Viridian versus Seas of Cheese. Oh, this is our second to last match, actually. Mike?
Yep, I got it. All right, in the first match, Ultimate versus Slad, we have 3 for Ultimate, and we have Volkai picking Slad. And MartyB versus Scritch, we have 3 for MartyB, and we have Volkai for Scritch. We have Neji Boston versus Siege. We have everyone picking Neji Boston with Itachi versus Fagorin. We have everyone picking Itachi, and with Rotted Zombie versus THL Lemur, we're split. With me and Volkai picking THL Lemur, and Memnarch and Marty picking the Rotted Zombie. So that leaves I'm picking F2L 4-1. Memnarch's picking a full sweep for F2L. Or Marty, you're picking a full sweep for F2L, surprisingly. And Volkai is actually picking That's all the lose for one. So yeah.
Mm, Volkai, you just invalidated all of your picks with that. I want you to know.
Look, I went entirely based
Mm-mm.
on who has the best win rate
Mm-hmm.
So
and
you
plays Druid.
So,
and
fun
who
fact.
plays Drew?
Fun fact. Druid had the second or third worst win rate last week. So, I don't know.
Which is why it's best win rate and then also plays Druid. If you can win with a losing class, you're more likely to win with than someone who wins only with winning classes.
Hmm. We shall see. So, finally, we have. This is the real last matchup now. Um, Power Creeps versus Wild THL Fanatics. Volkai, this is all yours.
All right, so Power Creeps versus Wild THL Fanatics. Looking at our first match, top of the card is Electric Sheep City versus JRH Skate 8. JRH Skate.
Jack.
And
Jack, yeah.
Jack. Okay. So E-Sheep City against Jack. And looks like uh, NHL and I predict E-Sheep City winning. And Memnarch and Mike V are looking at Jack winning. So that's a tied match in predictions. Draco Cat against Jonah Ra is the second slot, and I'm in the minority, being the only person who thinks Draco Cat's more likely to win. Everyone else, you guys and Memnarch, have picked Jonah Ra. However, in the third slot with Brian O'Brien against Rami, everybody thinks Rami's gonna win. Something about a warrior might have to do with that. Then starting to close out the card with Dr. Bombed against Memnarch. And Mike V is the only one who thinks Dr. Bombed is going to win, with Memnarch being picked by Memnarch. And well, everyone but Mike V. And then finally closing out the card, it's Unlimited Power against Pasca, with both of you picking Unlimited Power, and Memnarch and I thinking Pasca's got it.
So, yeah, very interesting.
Overall, I think that's going to be a pretty close match.
Yeah, we all have Power Creeps taking it, actually, but it could be closer than expected. It's 3-2 Power Creeps all around for the most part once you take out Memnarch's not at all biased sweep out of the equation. But I think we're pretty set on Power Creeps winning that week, so we shall see. And I believe that wraps it up for predictions and the upcoming matches. We have one last thing to talk about, and that is the deck of the week. So, Volkai, are you ready to cover it?
Well, let's go ahead and do it whether or not I am.
All right.
So, our deck of the week, or if you want to introduce it.
It's all yours. Go for it.
All right, so our deck of the week this week is one I've been working on for quite some time. It's called Magnaspite. And Magnaspite is a tempo deck that is in search of a meta. So the short version of what it is essentially you take mechs with magnetic, you take a few high power spells, Ultimate Infestation, and Nourish. You go with throwing in Spiteful Summoner, some ramp in the form of Mire Keeper and Greedy Sprite, have Fandral to take advantage of the Nourish, and then also lets you take advantage of Oasis Surger, along with Prince Keleseth to buff the whole deck, and Survival of the Fittest is an experimental ad right now. And then you round out the deck with Target Dummies, Bronze Gatekeeper, Flying Machine, Snip Snap, War Gears, Ziliax, and Death Knight Malfurion, just for good measure.
Just for good measure.
So, as I was saying earlier, talking about Ultimate Infestation being my favorite card, I've always seen Druid's core strength being its flexibility, and, well, Magnetic is essentially a neutral themed flexibility because you can either fill the board going wide or you can make one mech really, really big going tall. So you combine those with the Druid's ramp and deck buffs. Throw in Spiteful Summoner to take advantage of the fact that the only spells in the deck are 4 10-mana spells, 2 7s, 2 6s, and that's it. And you have Magnaspite. Unfortunately, it's only been on this side of meta viable for good 2 years now, but I think it's just a matter of time until we find the right meta for it.
One question. White Delight actually brought this up. Where is Grand Archivist? How do you feel about Grand Archivist in this kind of archetype?
Let's see. That's the one that casts spell from your deck, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I experimented with it probably a good year. That was probably 4 or 5 sets ago, and I did not really like it because it had a habit of pulling spells out before the full summoners had a chance to use them. And when you're looking at a Spiteful Summoner in your hand with no spell for it to summon a minion off of, it feels bad.
Hmm.
That
Fair
said,
enough.
now that we have Survival of the Fittest to go with UI, might be worth another look.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
All right.
I think that's definitely a suggestion here.
Yeah.
So something to look into because I know you've been working on this for a while. So
Oh yeah, since Boomsday. And you will if
yeah.
the deck
So
code goes out to people,
yes.
they can see that it's currently in version 5.1.
Yes, we did send it. So, what kind of matchups do you normally want with this?
So with this, matchups, essentially anything that does not hit the absolute bleeding edge of speed, it can start to build a good defense against by turn 4 or 5. And when things go well, you just overwhelm control decks and tempo decks by out-tempoing them.
All right then. Well, thanks again, Volkai. It's quite the
Absolutely.
deck. Yeah, really appreciate it. So, looking forward to trying out a different version of Spiteful. So, thanks again.
Exactly.
I say one of the fun things about this deck is just you can always win in different ways. I've both walked over something with about 4 5/5s, and then also stomped someone into their portrait exploding with a single Wind Fury. I'm trying to remember. I think that was an 8/12. Yeah, that was fun.
Nice. So, yeah, Flying Machine has a lot of synergy with Survival of the Fittest. It's almost like Mech Paladin, but in a Druid build. And the thing is, you have these Oasis Surgers to rush and protect your board. Target dumbing also as a 4/6 0-cost minion in late game. Not bad at all. So,
Oh yeah.
very interesting. So, thanks again. Mike, do you have anything else?
No, that's about it. I mean, the deck is it's interesting. I'm always down to try new decks, and hopefully people try it out and can give you feedback, Volkai. It's always good to have people try your decks and let you know how they work for them. That's a good thing about this feature.
Absolutely.
You're basically having a bunch of different people try your deck out for you. So, yeah, that's about it. So, all right, I guess that wraps up the show today. Thank you, Marty, for opening. Thank you, Volkai, for being our guest. It's funny. We talked about you being the guest last week before Diamond Club even won, so it was just perfect timing for you to be the guest this week. Thank you to all our viewers and listeners this week, and all the commenters. And I'm excited next week to have the show. Make sure you tune in next week because it'll be playoff week, so we'll have some exciting things in store. So yeah, everybody have a fantastic evening.
Take care.